Of time they've been in their attacking area.
So the Bombers lead it by 8, 58-50. Start of the final quarter. With so much to play for. Roughhead doesn't leave the ground. Bellchambers did. Got it on the way down. Socket forward by Melksham. Gathered by Chapman. Tackled immediately and wrestled down by Roughhead. Both the subs are on. Third man up is Lewis. Melksham a half chance. Heppel, who's been terrific. Hurried kick down towards the 50. Shinned away there by Lake. Wide. Hill pushed it in front. Could have been held without it. Doesn't matter now. We'll have a ball up.
Now that should be a good matchup for Essendon. Virtually the ruckman McAvoy's been forced to play fullback on Carlisle. So if they get the ball one out there in movement, should be for Carlisle.
Quick hands by Watson. Heppel's kick goes down towards the 50. Sicily, nicely done. Out number 3-1. Wins the contest and puts the ball to space.
Hurley will get there first. It's a toe poke. Made a bit of a meal of it. Langford. Clean pickup around the corner. Now Rioli and Hibbert. Hibbert will get there first. Short kick, decisive to Merritt. Back inside. Heppel over the top, and they've got some run now. The sub Ashby back to Watson. Watson over the top, a man that's found space all afternoon in Melksham. Well, he's found a man with space again in Bellchambers. You'd think just too far out. He knows it. He goes again to where Danaher lurks. Big fly, couldn't take it. Hands all over the football. Stratton lost it. Zaharakis to Heppel. The tackle comes from Anderson. Ball dislodged. Now Lake's got to be clean. Ambrose putting the pressure on. Burgoyne. Goddard. A pair of nines. Burgoyne ends up with the football. Back inside he comes. Stratton now to the outer side. Again a one-on-one. Hurley has the muscle. Does he control it down? He does enough. Brings it to ground. Now some reinforcement comes. This time it's Heppel. Melksham received from Ashby. Man under pressure underneath it all. Watson. Roughhead watches on. Might end up with it. Does to Hodge. Quick kick, neat kick. Rioli over the top. He's got numbers left and right.
There's trouble. Rioli. Puopolo has to wait for the bouncing ball. Back to Rioli. Accelerates brilliantly. Then fumbles. It helped him actually. Gets around Hibbert, goes to the goal square. Hill had continued his run. He was one of the three guys surging through the middle, and he kicks the goal from point-blank range.
Yes, when they came through the centre, I mentioned earlier that that's one of the few times that Hawthorn have been able to run through the centre corridor. It just opens up your attacking 50. They've been forced wide by Essendon and their own ball, slow ball movement for most of the game. But as soon as Rioli had just that bit of space in the forward 50, I think you thought this was going to be bad news for Essendon, and it was. They had the extra numbers, Hawthorn. As long as they didn't mess it up, they always had that extra number to support it. But really, just a bit of magic by Rioli. That lightness on the feet, that quickness, that agility, just creates the goal.
Never an ounce of panic from Rioli. Hawks 7 of the last 9. 35 points has been whittled down to just 2. They look dangerous again here. Puopolo suddenly a target forward of the ball. Smith read it well. Hurley, he stood up beautifully all afternoon.
Yeah, he has been good, Hurley, but I think they're going to be under pressure now, the Bombers' defence. I just think when the run away from congestion is now, Hawthorn seem to have more energy to be able to run into space that bit better.
Heppel. More in hope than anything else. A couple of one-on-ones on the outer side. McAvoy patted it down, also did the roving work. And then the follow-up, tremendous again. Quick handball, this time from Segler. Burgoyne receives. Now to Bruce, measures things up. Bruce is offline. We've got a one-point ball game at the G on a Sunday afternoon.
Hawthorn getting right on top now. Wilt. Backs to the wall for the Bombers. In front hooker, almost the mark, follows up. Takes it back inside the defensive 50, then misses the target. Rioli, brilliant stuff. Hand pass from Lewis, comes across to Puopolo, and he's tied the scores. 58 apiece. It's inevitable, you feel now.
As long as Hawthorn don't think it's inevitable. I think that's been they've had a lazy emotional day, Dennis, as you kind of tended to forecast pre-game. So they think it's all that isn't just going to automatically fade. That's their main Achilles heel at this point, I would have thought.
Neither of us are qualified, but a lot of analysing today, haven't we? Just lie on the couch, Lee.
Free kick to Western.
It's a throw, Michael.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't a hit, it was a scoop. Scoop as a throw.
So how many twists and turns do we have left? Hawks fans thought they were in front for the first time in a long time. Not to be the case. Still, the game has no leader. Segler driving the ball forward, rough head, a quiet day. He's been around, but never quite in the right spot.
Yeah, he's done his little bits, but he's certainly the big defenders, both Cale Hooker and Michael Hurley, have been really, really good for Essendon.
Hooker looking frustrated. Carlisle, he's been around the place all afternoon.
Good hard lead, that one. Hope for defender Art. Here's Heppel. Looks to the middle, measures the kick. Too far though, Melksham. Now a real chance. Sicily gave it to Lewis, to Langford. O'Rourke through midfield. Now Smith hesitates. Hodge goes with the right foot. This for the lead. No. Terrific stuff by Hooker. Had it moments ago on the boundary, and that time stretching every sinew to take that mark right on the line. This is pulsating stuff now. Essendon. The short one comes across from Carlisle. Ashby releases a teammate there in Cooney. Now Stanton. It wasn't 15 to Cooney. Drives it up towards the wing. How was that for coolness? Backhanded down by Lake. Got it back from Birchall. High ball, Segler. Made to earn it. But it's his ball on the wing.
Lewis sweeps the ball back inside. Birchall. Now, out the back, Gunston. Hooker not quite. Gunston a slap to space. Hurley, he'll get there first. Can he take it cleanly? A little fumble. Gunston, Bagley first to the ball. But Bagley will hold Gunston in. And now it is 15 metres out from a Hawthorn lead.
I mentioned a bit of a different umpiring configuration pre-game, but I think the umpires his first couple of rounds have been really good. Just got a great feel for the way the game should be umpired, I think, at this point.
Bagley tries to burst his way through, ends up with Bruce, left boot. Hawks in front by that single goal. We saw, Lee, in the build-up to this match, what extraordinary wins the Bombers have been able to produce in the last couple of years. I know they're down by a goal. I know momentum is with Hawthorn, but you've got used to expecting the unexpected with this lot.
Well, I think the thing is your legs, you know, there's a saying that fatigue makes cowards of us all, that if your legs don't carry you, it's very hard to run out of game, and Essendon have that look again today. Now, I don't see any mental weakness with Essendon, why they're fading again. It's just the fact that the legs, just the match hardness when they've had such a soft march leading into the opening round. It's a tough ask to play 4 strong quarters against good teams.
Lee, Mark Harvey mentioned that they had to get on top in the middle there.
Yeah.
8 inside 50s to 1 this quarter, so unless they start getting their hands on the ball, it's going to be a Hawthorn win.
Hawthorn's first lead in 90 minutes. Segler and Danaher, one down by Segler. Well done. Hodge kicks towards half forward. Here's Sicily. Goes back. O'Rourke swings it to Anderson. Segler again. Nice dummy. Kicks inside the forward 50. And the mark is taken down there by Bagley. Just get the feeling if Hawthorn get the next. It's hard to imagine Essendon, who are on the ropes, could win the game from there. That's not to say they can't, but it would be something special. Here's Heppel, who's been special, in trouble though, and outnumbered. Spills wide, Goddard took one for his teammate. The hand pass from Hooker, knocked back in his direction. He has to go again. Hooker, a hand pass towards the boundary. Here comes Lewis. Gets around Merritt. Merritt goes again, but not before Stratton got the hand pass away. Well done, Ambrose. Came in, pushed the man off the footy. That was Hodge. How's that for a massive humanity?
Dennis, at
Have a ball up.
half-time, we spoke to Brendan Goddard, and he said if they started to get on top, he'd put himself behind the ball. He went from a forward behind the ball for the last few minutes. Now he's working up to the back of this stoppage.
There's a match fact. Essendon given up 30-point leads in each of their last 4 games. They led by 35 this afternoon. They trailed by 6.
Clearly, that's the last 2 of last year. So we're not talking this year when they're just basically just not match hardened at this point in time.
One entity that's smiling right now is the pre-season competition. Suddenly it shows how important those matches are. The Bombers, so many of them without any pre-season games. Suckling on that left boot, tumbling ball, ugly for all forwards, tough for Sicily, floated through hands. In the end, Gleeson found Gwilt. Back it goes to Goddard. Roughhead, the tackler, got away with it. Got it to Hurley in good time. To Merritt. Just the 15. O'Rourke was anticipating. It was sheepdogging Merritt.
Merritt drives it to the outer side. This could be interesting. Collier with a runner alongside Bagley. Well done by Hill. Covered Bagley. So the ball comes back into the corridor, and Goddard's got it. 6 points the margin. Hawthorn on top. Goddard. Bagley. Just forward of half-back. Not much movement now. Some tired players from both clubs. Momentum, though, with the Hawks. Here's Collier. Kicked a wonderful goal earlier today. Merritt. Young legs. Hard against the boundary. But up ahead, nothing. No one's even in a jog. And that's what happens sometimes. Someone has to come and give something. Lake has taken the mark.
You saw Joe Dan Lee going to stand on the mark. He looks a tired man.
Yeah, when you look at the numbers to the contest, Hawthorn are getting him there now.
A little bit of genius volleyball stuff to Hodge, and now Burgoyne. He looks forward, and Roughhead hasn't got a major this afternoon. This to send it to a 2-goal lead.
And again, they harbored the centre corridor. They were able to swing the ball back inside. This is what Hawthorn has started to do as the game's gone on. They've been able to actually attack down the middle of the ground a little bit more, and therefore enable their forwards to get into the right place to receive.
The umpire shuffles just a little. It's a major. Ruffy's first. Hawks lead by 2 goals, and the task ahead for the Bombers suddenly daunting.
It's not that it's a big margin, but we saw going forward the last time Essendon with no run now. They're on their knees. Roughhead so well held the best part of the day, getting free. Number 2 pick in the 04 draft, 3 last Monday.
He's kicked this goal, Roughhead, but he's going to do the centre bounce ruck. You get a ruckman like Roughhead, it speeds up your whole team, because comparative to the opposition ruckman, now you've got a runner, an extra runner.
Kearney, strong tackle on Lewis. Lingered too long, though. And Lewis gets the free. 9 of the last 10 goals for the Hawks. Lewis again drives them forward. You saw those inside 50s a moment or 2 ago. Just insurmountable now. Melksham out of defence. Bounces it out towards the wing. Ambrose can't go with Stratton. Hill's got it now. Looks inside the forward 50. Going back with courage down there was Bagley. Fisted away by Ashby. Taken by Stanton. Goes to Merritt. Merritt spilt on the outer side by Ambrose. The presence of mind though to give it to Hibberd. That's a nice kick to Hibberd. Goddard needs to get it over the top. McAvoy comes at him like a raging bull and passes it back. Merritt looks inside. Heppel with courage. I think it's a free kick, not a mark. Heppel knew someone was coming, and the someone that was coming's a hard doer. This kick goes down towards the 50. Carlisle's got it. Can they rally? Can they find something? Danaher, no, not that way. It's going to be a free kick, I think. Lake may have marked it between his knees. And he's paid a price. Slow to get up, Brian Lake.
Just got the front position. He had the body strength. He wanted to jump over the top of him, Danaher, but Lake got the best position.
Suddenly the Hawks looking like the Bombers did at the start of the match. The pace from Hill on the outer side. Looks like the Hawks have got things under control for now, but there's still time for the Bombers if they're going to produce one of the more remarkable wins the club has been involved in. James Hird's been involved in a few of those as a player and as a coach. Rioli paddles it to Burgoyne. Back it goes to Hill. Hawks all over the outer side of this ground. Segler, he was caught behind, and the Bombers are on tired legs. They've played with huge heart for 2 seasons, but right now they're in arrears. A couple of goals, Hawks in front.
Stanton, well from Ashby. This is Goddard. Beckons, then kicks. It's a little decoy. Bell-Chambers. Bagley pushing up from the back. On the move. Mark is taken by Danaher. Wheels and goes. Hangs in the air for a long time. McAvoy came. Fisted away by Stratton. Loose ball at the back. Out of mid-air. Wide of the mark by Chapman. And a behind. Well, it's a bitter pill if they were to lose this, their supporters, 2 weeks in a row. In fact, as we showed you, the last 4 of their games dating back to last year. But there's a lot to like about this team. A big upside.
It's taken 2 very good teams to probably beat them, hasn't it, Dennis? So they've, even on a very soft preparation, they've been really more than competitive for most of the games.
Well, on fresh legs, they've showed they can match it with the grand finalists from last year.
Absolutely.
Roughhead, he kicked the last for the Hawks. 3 goals to 0 in this last term. Watson sweeps the ball to Bagley. Gwilt has a paddock around him on the wing. He can amble through it, decides to kick. Danaher back inside to Watson, who's continued to run. Tumbling ball. Out the back, Carlisle. He's been marking all day. Chapman, can he conjure something remarkable? Cooney has it knocked away by a man who's become good at knocking the ball away.
Margin is 10 points then. They're still driving on, Essendon, against the yardstick of the competition. Nice kick coming in from Suckling to Lewis. Lewis, his 27th possession coming up. Just jams it out wide. Stratton, still plenty of time. If they could come back and win this, it would have probably been as good a victory as they've had in the last couple of decades at least. Opportunity for Smith. A lot of work to be done by the Bombers. Still from behind, it's Carlisle with a fist on that one. Out of these sort of situations comes greatness, and they're working at it still. They will not give up. Chopped off by Duray. Slick hands to Lewis. He could punish them on the way back. He does. Bruce into an open goal, and that could end it. That could put down the Defiance. And they did that a couple of times last week to the Cats as well. They are the best when they get a turnover, but taking it back and really exacting full toll. Roost well held like most of their forwards, but when it counted, they've got off the leash.
Got a great ability, the Hawthorn forwards, to work out when they're going to get the ball upfield and just stay back in space. I guess you could say he cheated a little bit, Bruce, just didn't go upfield, but the good forwards tend to be able to read the play upfield, and if they can win possession of their team, then they're ready to be used.
No score last week in the final term for this courageous Bombers outfit. A couple of behinds only. Can Cooney be involved in a major now? Collier, Zaharakis. Well, again, it's the man that's been chosen all afternoon. Danaher, he slipped, and Carlisle, who's been marking the ball all over the ground, has an opportunity to bring it back to 10 points, 6 minutes, and change on the clock.
As he got clear, he's been matched up a little bit in the second half by the ruckman McAvoy, but just at the moment with the numbers, in the Essendon forward line of height. McAvoy's been relieved of those duties at the moment.
For the first goal in a final term in the opening rounds, he's put it through, Jake Carlisle. There's still a pulse. Is something unlikely on the cards? There's a sense of the inevitable in this game, but there is still this extraordinary belief amongst these extraordinarily tired players.
Yes, the physical tide, I think, is now going with Hawthorn, clearly with energy levels, but I think Essendon have got a bit of steel about them. And it's showing when the legs aren't really willing, the mind still is. The centre bound's absolutely critical. Hawthorn have got him top in this area. They got in there, Anderson.
Yeah, Ambrose is doing the rucking for Essendon, so they're improvising. High tackle, advantage is paid. Now this is Duray running down towards half forward. Well, that's a wasted kick. And Hurley lets it fly out of bounds. So Bill Chambers just can't go anymore. He's run himself ragged, run himself into the ground today against McAvoy and Segler behind the pack. Ambrose, though, will be nimble as a ruckman around the ground. Here's Melcham. Hand passes down towards half forward. Danaher can't find much. Hangs on to Birchall. And Birchall will get the free. Is it left half back?
Well, right now, for the Bombers, their minds are willing, their bodies are tired. Time to set the jaw and steal the mind. Birchall has other ideas. Over the top it goes of Sicily. Gwilt will get back there fast. Charging at the ball, Bruce. Bagley went and got hold of the football. Bruce got hold of Bagley. Ball just edges out. First man there, Stratton. Bruce runs into Gwilt. Players exhausted. Was there any effort? Umpire said enough.
Umpire paid that he actually ducked into the tackle, so that was a good decision.
Chance responding. Langford, Sicily, right on the 50. Centering ball, Bagley goes back. One thing we know about the Hawks, they don't play for respect, they've got that. They play for domination. And right now, they just can't dominate this team, but they know they've got the upper hand. Cooney in the back pocket. Clock is running, just over 4 minutes, 10 points the difference. Cooney, short on options, kicks to 2-on-1. The second of those Hawks, Lewis tidies up to Hodge. Burgoyne, right half forward, little chip pass, Anderson. Pretty quiet game, has got it out at right half forward. Sets a high ball towards full forward. Roughead in the pack. In front, Hooker didn't stick the landing. Langford over the shoulder. Hill finessing. Bruce trying to back out. Hand passes down the line. Roughead was back on his heels. And Hurley just pushes it across the line. Hurley has been outstanding today.
You've got to admire this Essendon team. They just keep fighting and fighting. These young players, we know how tired they are, but I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
Well, still the margin is just 10 points. Still plenty of time on the clock. Heppel. Ashby stole it from the skipper. Burgoyne waited, paddled it down, did well. Anderson back to Burgoyne. Gwilt. Now Suckling.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
What a kick. He's an extraordinary player. He could kick the ball through an open window of a passing train.
Yeah, a lot of good things about Hawthorn as a team, but that ability to pick the right target inside 50. I mean, the hardest kick really when you're going into a congested area, but just they work off the kick so well as forwards, but the forwards just keep finding them.
He's kicked one for the afternoon. This would just about seal the Bombers' fate. Dangerous spot still. Bagley watches on. Ambrose Hooker. Sicily tries to keep it in. Bouncing ball for Duray, quick enough to give it off. Langford hesitates, goes backwards, did well, then the Bombers did better. Advantage called. What do they have left, this Bombers outfit?
Well, they don't have the numbers, that's for sure. And Smith comes back to Gunston. Wilt 1 out against 3 there. Now Suckling just jabs it in short. Lewis continues to rack them up.
Move it on.
Smith runs off in the opposite direction, not used. He goes forward instead. Duray. Lewis's kick bounced off his chest. Birchall got the crumb. Here's O'Rourke. Lewis once more. Wilt lunges. Got him. Birchall kicks towards the goal square. In best position down there, Ambrose. Hooker taking no chances. Now the clock is against them. They've got to score a goal. They can steal this game. Watson got it from Zaharakis. Gave it to Carlisle. Chapman slips over. Going past is Collier. Collier must kick the goal. Lines up. Does! They're 4 points behind. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. The passion is overflowing at the MCG. And why not?
Fantastic work ethic. They came out of the back again down the centre corridor. That's what you got to do. You haven't got time to take the ball round the boundaries. It was just a matter of he just stumbled with fatigue then, Chapman. But Collier, Melsham, Zaharakis, just been the real ball carriers, and he just took off, kicked the goal. So maybe heart can take you a long way. Can it take him to a victory?
Plenty of time, Lee.
I don't know.
Hawthorn won the last centre bounce. Critical Essendon get this one.
A tired Bell Chambers gets his hand onto it. Next goal wins it. Cooney. Little give. Suddenly a Melcham crashing the ball forward. Who's there for the Bombers? Big fly at the back. Now it's in dispute. Collier, a little one to Hooker. Can the defender become a goal kicker?
Oh.
Absolutely he can. This is the stuff of fairy tales.
Oh. They've still got time to lose it, but how good is this? You almost find yourself barracking, don't you?
Oh, yeah, no, you do. It was like the Tide, just looked like the Tide. They were holding back the Tide, Essendon, and Hawthorn got that couple of goals in front. Then bang, 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 one down the middle, then a nice snap. So they've got the lead. Now Hawthorn have to be able to respond in this last minute of play. They've popped a couple back, Essendon, which is a bit dangerous because that means the play is going to be essentially in Hawthorn's forward half.
That's amazing, isn't it? They've got no dog in the fight, but it almost brings tears to your eyes. There's the bounce in the middle. Up goes Bell Chambers wide. Rioli hasn't got it. So they will have to absorb some pressure here. Rioli comes wide. Suckling didn't go. Clock is down to 44. Suckling, high ball. They need to kill this one, the Bombers. Rockhead one-handed. Gunston, tackled brilliantly by Melcham. O'Rourke, his first game for the Hawks. Charged down by Stanton. Goes across the hill. Ambrose just took him down. Charging in his Stratton. Chance now for Goddard. They may have weathered the storm. This could be one of their finest victories ever. One for the ages. Heppel kicks it towards half forward and Chapman getting across there and knocking it out of bounds. Duray. Clock stops at 15 seconds. Bombers lead by 2. Remarkable scenes at the MCG.
And the ball obviously in the right part of the ground. There's a Hawthorn player down about centre half forward, so the play's going to be held up. Is it Rioli or Hill?
It's Hill.
They haven't called yet. Yep. Yeah, he's getting up. Let's go. Let's go. We're going. 1 metre.
What a finish we've got. Lewis doing the ruck work. If Essendon can hold on, this is the stuff of the most unlikely. Rioli, 5 seconds, has to find a target. Time will beat them. And Essendon do what no one thought possible. Bombers got to test themselves against the league's best. They did brilliantly. They did stoically, and in the end, they did tiredly. And the football world, they will tip their hat to this side.
That is inspiring. I mean, they were gone with about 5 minutes to go. And they've won by 2 points in a second.
Yes. Roost was going in. He was. Remarkable.
Let's go to Nick Maxwell. He's with an unlikely hero.
We've got the man